And here is the extended data pack. So again, this is an add-on, but it's useful information. This first one is showing me the software product retirement summary, so I'm able to see I have a handful of machines in the environment that have exceeded the retirement date. I can see here I've got a few coming due 1 to 2 years, less than 6 months, etc. But again, good to know so that you're not at risk of running software that's being end of life in your environment. The last one for the extended data pack is that hardware reference library. So here's where I was alluding to the power and watt requirements. And I can see here on this chart, that yellow is my medium compute, so I've got a large compute in blue. So again, I've got, it looks to be about 5 machines that are running that. Those would be good candidates to, again, move off, if it's virtualization, or at least pull off the applications that they may be running, host those on different machines so we can decommission those boxes. Okay, so one of the key things that you'll see with agent discovery, again, because some of my other applications are able to utilize this information or consume this data, is the maps that are generated. So at the uppermost part of this, you'll notice I've got my critical business application. And again, we'll see this in the demonstration so you can kind of understand what the lines mean, what those different icons mean, but it's letting me know that I have several hosts that are really hosting this, and if I go to do any change in the environment, then I'm potentially impacting this critical business application. So again, a really good understanding of what's occurring business and IT so we don't make changes that impact us later. Now, I talked about the collaborative application mapping. This is another thing, again, that we're going to discover with Atrium Discovery. And understand we do provide maps for some business applications out of the box. I'll show you a website where you can go and see what we're gathering natively, but this allows you to build the maps for your custom applications. And so you'll see there I have some seed data. So the person maybe who wrote the application may just give you a few key points. Here's the executable that we're calling. I've done the discovery so I can see that. And then what I start to do is search. I can see the communications that it's having with other boxes. And then I present the map. I'm giving this back to the application owner to confirm, like, yes, that is actual valid communication, and then we build our map accordingly. So you may have to go through this iteration a couple of times to get that map correct, but again, you just really need that seed data from your application owner, and as we're doing the discoveries, we're going to be able to confirm communications that we're seeing with that owner. Okay, and then there at the bottom you'll see that application is generated for me automatically, and you have that going forward. So if once you've built the map and you may have dynamic changes, maybe a VM switches, your map is going to be automatically updated with that new IT resource that's hosting that specific part. Okay, so graphically, just again, I've alluded to this. On the left-hand side are my data providers. So again, providing data into the CMDB. And you can opt to do this or not. It's a configurable option under my administration whether or not I want to reconcile the ADDM data to the CMDB. But you'll see there my providers, the discovery, and that's going to be everything that we discovered with our solution. We reconcile that to the CMDB. Here's where I have my impact analysis, my service models, all housed in the CMDB that is then consumed from these other applications. And you'll notice at the bottom it's not specific to BMC applications, basically other applications, because this is an open interface, an open API are going to be able to consume that data. Okay, and then one quick one here, we talk about the map. So the other solutions that are going to be able to utilize this data. So you can see, or maybe not see, but this upper left is Remedy IT Service Management, so my ability to diagnose my incidents faster because I can see the impact. Here, my Proactive Net, again, that service model is built up for that application to use or consume. I have my Impact Explorer, which is showing me the business impact of making a given change. And then my capacity management, again, from a business perspective, the capacities or the utilization of certain resources on a given server. Okay, so again, this advantage is kind of summarizing, if you will, everything that has been covered on those slides. At this point, I'm going to switch into the demonstration. So just give me a couple minutes to do that.
Yeah, and Stacy, while you're doing that, and good job, by the way, just wanted to share a little story. We really like this ADDM product, and we've implemented it a number of different customer sites. And not too long ago, we were doing a POC at a customer site, and we got ADDM up and running, and we got everything discovered in less than a day, and met all their requirements. And we're told later that they had a competitor that came in, and it had taken them more than 2 days, and they didn't even get everything up and running that they were hoping to see. So it's just a little bit of a testament to the product itself. So go ahead, Stacy.
Okay, perfect. So what I've done is logged into the appliance. I've come in as a user called Alan, and what this lets me know is I'm looking at the default dashboard. So again, I'll just lay this out really quickly. This discovery status that's in this gray bar is what we call a channel, and the channels make up my various dashboards. So this automatic grouping, this quick view, the CMDB sync status, these are all channels that make up this default dashboard. Okay, so what I'm going to do is switch this over. I'm clicking the icon there on the right, and you'll see all the available dashboards. And as you're looking at them, you can see that they are specific to a given initiative. So here I've got, for example, my mainframes, my operating systems, my virtualization, my software product summary. So there are a host of different dashboards that you can hit that we're making available out of the box, but you can also copy and then add the channels that you feel are relevant. So what I'm going to do is go into the baseline dashboard, and you'll notice how so it's telling me quickly, I'm in the baseline dashboard at this point, but my channels are different than what we saw with that default dashboard. As well, I'm just going to scoot down a little bit. I have reports that make up this specific dashboard. So again, it can be very specific about what you want to see on any given dashboard. What I'm going to do at this point, let me just scroll down a little bit. So here at the bottom, I've got virtual versus physical. And to me, this is a little hard to look at. I know, though, that that top one looks to be right at 90, and this one is a little over 54. But you'll notice here in the bottom that I can change these chart types. So what I'm going to do is just kind of switch this on the fly. So that's a little bit easier. So I've got 86 of my machines that are not virtual, and I've got 59 that are. And then again, you can go ahead at any point and click in. So I'm just clicking on the ones that are not virtual, and it's thrown me into those 59 machines, and I can click on either one and get that detailed information. But even from this view, I'm seeing the type, the OS, etc. Now, the other thing that you'll notice on each of these column headings are two icons. And so we've got a filter and then the chart. This filter one is going to allow me to, so I know that I'm looking at the machines that are not virtual, but here I could customize, but I could basically scan this list down a little bit more and just look at my Unix machines that are not virtual, my Windows machines that are not virtual. Okay, and so at this point, then again, get some additional information for any of those boxes. All right, so here, let me just go back. And we're just, for demonstration purposes, we're going to switch into the operating systems. So here I've switched dashboards again. Here I'm in the operating system one, and I can see quickly my Windows operating systems, my Unix, and then again at the bottom is where I'm going to have any of my reports. So here, let's choose the Win. I'm going to change this chart type. I see quickly 29 that are 2003. I've got a couple that are 2008, etc. Let's look at the 2008. Throws me into the 2. And then let's grab this SQL 2008 box. Okay, so here now I'm into the actual details for this specific machine. So I've got my general details there. I've got my operating system. I can see my OS support, so end of life date coming due on this machine, the end of support, and then my extended support ends in 5 years. So we're not really at risk of running this particular OS because of that support date being so far. Now, I'm going to hit this show provenance because you remember this is what tells us how we came to the conclusion of any of the data that's appearing here. So I'll hit this show provenance, and you can see quickly I got this from the device info. I know about the patches because of the discovered patches. Provenance for that specific detail as well. Again, I just show that really quickly so you can see where we're getting the information. I'm going to hide it so we'll get more of the screen back at this point. Okay, and we'll go into a different machine, of course, where let's say that OS support detail is going to be lit up red. But for now, I'm going to hit into the infrastructure. So you notice that first time I was at the Home tab, and that's all of my dashboards. There are several tabs here across the top. Here I'm into the infrastructure tab at this point, and it's just everything about my infrastructure. So I can see quickly my hosts. So we'll click on the hosts. And it's bringing up for me 145 of those machines. And so here's where I'll show you this Google-like search, if you will. So at the top right, there's the ability to just put in some key characters. So I'll put in L01, P0905INF, and we're going to hit go. So this is looking across all of my things that I've discovered. And I can see that that specific string is relevant in several areas. We're going to hit the host. And as I do that, so again, you'll notice here I've got my general details. Now it's showing additional information here. So I've got my hardware vendor. I can see ownership and location information. And so actually on this one, let me hit the show provenance, because I alluded to this before. Scrolling down a bit, because this one now has actually some patches for me, and you can see here a script that's running that's providing that information back for me now. You'll notice the patches itself is hyperlinked, so I can click, and it's going to take me into those 90 patches so I can see what they are. Same for the packages, hyperlinked, so I can click and see what 150 packages actually reside on this box. Let me click and just hide the provenance one last time. And we'll take this back so you can see as well this particular operating system. So it's Windows 2003. I can see the end of life date 2 years ago, end of support 2 years ago. My extended support, I've got a couple years. So may want to think about migrating whatever applications are running on this off so we can decommission this box. Okay, so here we'll go back to the top, and we're going to search for one more machine. So here we're going to look for L01, D0201 app. All right. So again, I've got a host. That's the one I'm looking for. And what I'm able to see here are I've got a couple runtime environments. Let me scoot this over. A couple runtime environments running on this guy. Now I alluded to this in the PowerPoint, but you remember I said that you have reports kind of all throughout the appliance. When I click on this reports, I can see, if I'm doing quick, it looks to be about 13 to 15 reports that are relevant for this device. So I don't have to scan through all my reports and look for the one that may be relevant to him. I can see in play for this particular device, the historical open ports, his communications, network device dependencies, host dependencies, etc.